It's that time of year again, and you're probably looking for a Thanksgiving movie about a guy killing people. Thank God we're here to tell you about Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. I feel like this movie should be called Thanksgiving. I always want to call it Thanksgiving.
There was already a Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was already one that was made, unfortunately. That's about a turkey puppet that kills people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. But Eli Roth made a fake trailer for the Grindhouse movies called Thanksgiving, where a killer kills people on Black Friday, or after Black Friday, and all this stuff goes wrong. But it's on Netflix right now. A lot of people are searching for it, and luckily Grace and I are here to tell you that you absolutely should watch the ever-living crap out of this movie. And if you have watched it, we're going to talk about our favorite parts. Isn't that right, Grace?
We sure are, because man, oh man, does this movie have a lot of them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cross between a body horror movie and a slasher whodunit horror movie. It's a great callback to movies like Scream and Urban Legend and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, the Scream, you could tell that they took a lot for Scream in this movie, and that's okay.
Yeah,
like, I appreciate the fact that they did that.
And those movies are so infrequent now that we're such big fans of those that this honestly felt really fresh again. Eli Roth is really into uber violence and is a really effective filmmaker when he wants to be. Sometimes he kind of makes really corny kind of
Yeah, he kind of goes back and forth. You know, my introduction to him, like a lot of people's introduction was, well, mine was Cabin Fever, but a lot of people's introduction was probably Hostel.
Yes.
Where a lot of people started off with that. So I always knew that he had a lot of respect for like classic horror movies and like Italian horror movies, which is why he made The Green Inferno.
Yes.
But seeing him come back and work in the slasher genre, it was a very welcomed thing to have.
It's kind of like a marriage of you're watching a director like Eli Roth and you're like, I wish he would make this kind of movie more often. You know, Eli Roth does make a lot of like fresh, kind of really original ideas, like Riots After an Earthquake or Green Inferno, right? But to see him just simplify it down and just make a good old fashioned slasher / social commentary horror movie with his brand of violence is really, really effective. So Thanksgiving takes place the anniversary after the Black Friday massacre at Bright Mart, where our lead is witnessing a big Black Friday rush where all these people die. And it is really kind of weird. When we were watching it, my wife Chelsea, it made her really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because people were doing this stuff. It was really happening, right? And people were dying. This is all over waffle irons and stuff.
Yep. And it was because these kids got in earlier. Which is really
these kids
funny.
got in earlier. So there's a lot of violence. Like people are getting cut by glass and pushed over. And oh my God. But there's a lot of body horror stuff in this. And it's comical at the same time. Arm break coming up. Watch out.
Yeah, this arm break is it's really good with how cheesy it is, but it's effective in its way.
Yeah, and then you have this kill with the cart, which is really effective, and I love this scene with the wheel tugging on the hair because you're just like, oh no, stop. Okay.
And the slow like pull on it, yeah, it's really, really funny.
So after this Black Friday massacre happens at this town, it's in Plymouth, where we founded America, or the new land and all that stuff. Whatever. There's a killer on the loose. He's in a pilgrim mask, and he's running around. He's killing all these teenagers that may or may not have something to do with the anniversary of this Black Friday massacre. What are your thoughts on the kills in this?
I think the kills are, they're like, man, they might be all-timers on some of these. Like, I love some of these kills, especially the one that takes place in the freezer with her face on the wall and everything, and it ends with the car hitting her.
There's a very effective scene where he pushes a lady's face into a frozen door of a freezer, and her skin tears off, and it really is just like, Scream and other slashers, that you're waiting for like the stab in the neck or the garage door scene. This one's way more like kind of a little bit of gross out.
It's more 80s.
Yeah.
Like it feels more 80s than it does what is current.
What can we do with makeup? What can we do with
Exactly.
special effects? How can we
Exactly.
gross out people before these victims perish? you've got Patrick Dempsey, you've got Addison Rae, who actually does a really great job in the movie. And as our killer is making his way through the cast, it does a really great job of showing kind of MacGuffins for who it may or may not be.
A lot of MacGuffins in it, which is really cool, and I enjoyed that a lot on this.
I always loved as a kid when we were watching Scream, and there's so many people with black boots that are similar to the killers, and there's a lot of nods like that in the movie that you're like, oh, it's him, maybe it's him. And there's a couple of key scenes that I would like to talk about here, but I'll open it to you first, Grayson.
So one of my favorite scenes happens probably about the middle point of the movie. It is literally a 5-second scene, but the thing that I like about Thanksgiving is it has a lot of really funny moments in it, and it balances it with a lot of creepy moments. This is one of my favorite funny moments. So what has just happened is our main lead has just been chased out of the school, and Bobby, who was her ex-boyfriend, is showing up to comfort her.
Okay.
So you have Bobby here who's going to put the jacket on her to be like, hey, it's okay. And then you have her new boyfriend who shows up.
Came right for me.
And it's this scene right here when she walks up to him that is just perfect and so petty. He throws the jacket off. It's that one 5-second scene that gets me every single time I watch. Yeah. He walks up, he's like, I'm here for you. And then watch how fast he throws it on the ground.
Just a nudge.
Whoop! Every time, and then he picks it up off the ground. When I saw that in theaters, I died laughing at it because it was just it's just like a 5-second thing, just whoop, right off of her. And whenever that happened, I was like, okay, Eli Roth has still got his comedy happening in this, but he's balancing it with some really good jump scares. Because before this even happened, there's an awesome jump scare that is literally just them walking around a corner and John Carver coming out with just his hand to knock him out. And it was just perfect. It's a perfect 5 minutes of the movie.
Can you find the contact lens scene while
I think I have it. I have it right here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So Eli does some really fun body horror stuff, but it's also MacGuffin. It's like you think something terrible is going to happen because he does these really intensely noisy macro shots of sensitive areas. Everybody knows, except for me, that the 3 horror movie pressure points are eyes, fingernails, and teeth. Those are the 3 most, if you really want to gross out an audience. I saw that on that show with you.
It
was like the Bravos.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anytime you want to affect the audience, you go for the eyes, you go for the teeth, you go for fingernails. And this is such a funny scene to kind of gross out the audience, but nothing bad happens.
So I brought this scene up for another reason.
Okay.
So where I have it stopped at, I'll play it.
Yeah.
So you've got her putting in her contact lenses, and he's right there.
Yeah, that is a cool.
So this in theaters, let me back it up a little bit.
Yeah, back up to where,
she's putting it in.
There's another one where she puts it on and it shows it really close. It's the first contact lens she puts
very beginning. Yep.
My dad's like freaking out at me right now.
See the Q-tip right there?
Yeah, going into the ears. So she's putting on these contacts for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she hears a noise in the house.
Yeah, but she's just doing her nightly routine and swabbing her ears. And because of the movie, it has set up all these really gross kills. Like we talked about the freezer earlier. There's disembowelment and stuff. But it's showing her doing, and you think that somebody's going to come and smack it into her ear or stab her in the eye. But no, she's just doing her nightly routine.
So back to the point that I had on this.
Yeah.
When we first saw this in theaters, my girlfriend Tiff, she didn't notice this until last night, and I showed her.
Okay.
But I told her that this is one of my favorite scenes, and she's like, why? So I showed her this. That right there.
Yeah.
And having him just be there. A lot of the times you don't get stuff like that. And it's so quick that you can miss it.
Yeah.
So if you're not paying attention, you won't see that.
Just like your characters aren't paying attention.
Exactly.
Right? Spectacular horror.
Yeah, it is. It's like a really, really cool scene in such a comedic horror movie.
Yeah.
But it's really creepy.
Yeah. And again, he's built so much tension with this really dumb night routine that's for no reason. Look at the contact lens stick to her eyeball, right? And but yeah, I thought that was really fun. And honestly, that the payoff you get from the contact lens and the Q-tip, that's the payoff.
Yeah.
Like is that little nudge that you might miss.
Yeah.
It's great
Tiff
horror.
did. She missed it.
Thanksgiving, while it is a slasher movie, you can tell Eli's really, really mad at social media.
Yeah.
There's a lot to say about people filming that Black Friday massacre we showed earlier. And throughout the film, the killer, John Pilgrim.
John Carver.
Yeah, I know.
John Pilgrim.
he is mocking our cast, our group of teens with and adults with messages, and he's putting their names at a dinner table when he is stalking them, killing them, so on and so forth. And so he's using social media to manipulate the teens and harass them. You know, a lot of times, you know, you did last summer, he passes them notes, pictures in the locker. This is just a really clever evolution about Eli Roth of that. Eli Roth of that. Eloth, Chuck. That's Goonies. And I don't know why. I'm really not intuitive at movies. I am generally kind of bad at picking out who the killer is. You know, The Sixth Sense, I was just completely floored. I don't guess the endings of movies. And I was very surprised that I didn't pick up how this all plays out, and that the dinner table carries out in one of the most horrific ways ever. And it all starts with, without a doubt, the worst human getting cooked scene.
Oh, it's awful.
Ever. There's this very intense scene where our lead's stepmom is put, right? Is that correct? Is put into an oven.
Yep.
And the touches here, oh my God, look how good this looks, y'all. Look at this. Oh, it's so awesome. But she is put into an oven, and there's so many micro details here that would really show how terrible of an experience it would be to be cooked alive. So obviously it's hot, right? But then the coils come on, and she's trying not to touch them. It's so claustrophobic.
Yeah, it's very claustrophobic. She doesn't have that much room in there. Like, there's a lot going on.
Oh, God, and her feet are burning.
Yeah.
Let me turn on the sound so you can hear that, nerds. But this touch on the heels is... Oh, my God.
It's good horror.
It is very good horror. Oh, and he's just watching her right there. Oh, no. But yeah, I won't show too much more because I don't want to scare y'all off. So she gets cooked, right? And I'm like, this is where I was saying about I don't have good intuition with horror films. And I'm like, she gets cooked, and it goes further than this.
Yeah.
He has set the table to bring the survivors that are together, alive together, for this really delicious feast. And I was just like, I wonder what he's gonna feed them, right? Did you whenever you saw him at the table about to feed the cast, did you think what was gonna happen happened?
Yes, it's in the trailer. In the original.
Oh, is it?
In the original like fake trailer, it's in there.
Okay, I got you. 'Cause I had not refreshed when I watched this with Chelsea. Let me find it. Where is it? Okay. But yeah, I had not seen this coming, surprisingly. And he's got our survivors left. And he unveils the main course right here. And of course, because I'm stupid, it's the woman he's roasted. And he carves her.
Yeah.
He carves her like a turkey. And
John Carver carves her.
it's one of the worst.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's gross.
Does it right in front of her husband and everything.
Yeah. And he feeds her. And she's tied and all cut up. I realized earlier that I had forgotten that he feeds the husband.
Yeah, some of it. Yeah, it's really messed up. Like, and that's the thing about this movie is there's so many moments that are really funny And then there's some really dark and horrifying moments in this movie. Like, he has a perfect balance, and I think that's why this movie does so well for me, is that it's the perfect balance of really, really dark, really, really funny. Like, you have it going on at the same time throughout the whole film, and it never gets too ridiculous. Like, it's the perfect balance of both.
I think that it's weird that for Eli Roth movies, I don't know, I find his tone to be like really inconsistent in movies. So it's really weird to watch this and to see how perfect control he has over it, because if this movie was too dark, the scene would be unwatchable.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just funny enough to where you can go, ew.
Yeah.
And then
you gotta
still watch it, right?
Yep.
I don't really want to spoil who the killer is or talk about the ending so much. I
want people to watch it, so I definitely don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, I really just wanted to give some information, and kind of just tell you that it's a super fun movie. I think that this movie's like a 9 out of 10.
I do too.
It's so good.
If I was to give it like our scale, it's like a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, I think it's because I wanted a little bit more out of the ending. But I was still very satisfied with the movie.
Yes. I think that's where it is for me. Its third act is just not quite enough to push it over, but it's still really, really good. So if you are curious about Thanksgiving, Grayson and I think you should absolutely watch it. It is a perfect marriage of slasher and body horror. It's just dark enough to be scary. It's just funny enough to be watchable. And you should go check it out. If there's any other holiday movies you want us to watch, especially with Christmas coming up, Grayson and I are slotting our content for the holiday.
Sure are.
We do have plans for some Christmas movies, but if there's any sleepers that you think we should absolutely hit, leave it down in the comments below. Grayson, you have anything else to say about Thanksgiving?
Just watch it. It's so much fun. Like we said before, go and check it out. Have a lot of fun with a really funny and creepy Thanksgiving horror movie. Probably the best one out there.
There's so many.